Good morning, gang. Kawaii50 here with another Fake Rain Order video, and I guess I've got to talk about stuff too, because there's like so many videos floating around. I did that collab with Musaki and GNA Reviews. We've got, Gita Sean throwing his head in the ring. I think Kadroth's probably gonna say something, so we just gotta have a little convo and clarify our stances. This is probably gonna be mostly face cam. You'll get to see my cat in the window, and there he goes off on his own adventure. So like, comment, subscribe, share, yada yada yada. We'll already go ahead and get that stuff out of the way. All right, now let's talk about things that are making comment sections explode. I guess let's just go ahead and do that. So a couple of clarifications. I watched Kita's video. Kita always brings some great stuff to the video. No, the content creators are not going to have a knife fight for your amusement. We're all cool with each other. We're all friends. Nobody is fighting, despite how much people might want content creators to fight. So don't expect anything like that. I value everything that everyone brings to the table, and you absolutely have to have good conversations with people who disagree with you on minor things such as the direction you think a video game should be taking. It is nothing world-ending. We're just talking about a game. It's all entirely fine. So don't expect any sort of vitriol or anything like that. I don't have the energy to argue with people on the internet. I'm over the age of 30. I can't do that. So, clarification on that. Secondary clarification. I do enjoy VNs, maybe not as much as some people, but I have read a lot of VNs in the past. OG Fate Stay Night is definitely up there, and of course the god emperor of all visual novels until the heat death of the universe, Katawa Shoujo. So I do enjoy my VNs. However, when it comes to video games, I like to see a lot of stuff come through within emergent gameplay. So that's kind of the stance where I'm coming from when I go ahead and talk about things like that. I also should clarify that I don't necessarily want an FGO2. I don't think I was very clear on that when I was talking. It was pretty late when I was recording, so let me just go ahead and make sure that's there up front. Part of the reason I made the World of Warcraft to Final Fantasy XIV and all of the WoW Killers comparison is not necessarily because I want FGO to do anything like an expansion pack. It was to sort of try to drive home the point that part of the reason WoW has never and will never die is because they consistently look at themselves, they look at what the competition is doing, they take things that they feel could work within their gameplay systems, and they also look again and again and again at the things that make their game unique and repeatedly try to iterate on them and try to make them better. They've been doing this since 2004. That is why WoW is still up there with the best of them, even if it, gets knocked off its high horse on occasion, it ends up getting right back up there. So that is another clarification to that point I made. I think I'm all done with the clarification-y stuff, so I guess let's go ahead and move on to some things I would like to see FGO do going forward in order to, kind of make sure it ends up staying, I guess, I don't want to necessarily say relevant, but it ends up staying competitive in the gameplay portion of the game that it offers. I will, I will just disagree with the people on the visual novel perspective. While I feel that's pretty interesting as a way to look at FGO, when I end up looking at games myself, I just cannot divorce myself from the, gameplay part of the game. I clicky the buttons and I use the skills and it makes the things happen on the screen. I cannot pull myself away from that. That's just way too important to me when it comes to games. So that's the kind of stuff I am just eternally going to look at until I'm eventually carried off by a pterodactyl. So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way as well, while we go ahead and talk about, what can FGO do, at least in my eyes, to, sort of pump itself up. I mean, we'll get the easy thing out of the way first. It's pity. I mean, this is going to be talked about until something is done and something changes. I mean, FGO's pity system is not great. It's probably one of the worst when it comes to any sort of gacha game. And I know you'll say, just save, but if the game doesn't make money from people wanting to roll with a decent pity system, then, you know, that's just going to hurt the game in the long run. So let's just talk about that fact and just lay that on the table. I also did see a post recently of someone who did use a USO on Twitter, and I didn't personally know this. I thought whenever you hit the USO point, you could just use it on whatever servant shows up on that banner, no matter what. But apparently every single servant you can pull from using a USO is a one-time only deal. So if you want Noble Phantasm copies, you're kinda SOL unless you end up spending money and pulling them and hitting that ridiculous hard pity. So let's just go ahead and let's just remove that restriction. Let's go ahead and give FGO now people are going to murder me for mentioning Honkai Star Rail, whatever, I'm just going to mention Honkai Star Rail. You can yell at me if you want, I don't care. But give it something like that, where you end up hitting a solid 50-50 in a reasonable amount of time, with a reasonable amount of rolls, so people can make sure that they are getting who they want. And I feel like having that feeling that, okay, if I actually spend money, I will probably get this guy I didn't necessarily plan on rolling, I feel like that can only overall help the game. Another thing I really want to see from it is a willingness to try a bunch of different game modes within the confines of FGO. And I can easily provide some examples for that. Again, this is not a graphics thing. This is not a me wanting FGO to become more like arcade in and of itself and just rewrite all the code from the jump. That is not what I am looking for at all. What I want are more things that can easily work within the confines of FGO in order to provide us with a varied gameplay experience, rather than, oh, there's no new story out, I guess all I can do is just log in my dailies and bounce. That is why my AP is so horrendously high, into the thousands. Grailfront, I thought, was one of the best things that had ever happened to FGO. I love Grailfront. I play every single Grailfront event with gusto whenever it is released. What I would like to see is a permanent Grailfront. Give us some sort of permanent Grailfront with rotating events each week and rotating servants, so I can keep hopping back in there onto my baby tactical map and, just have a chance to throw some servants on the wall and see what sticks. I just want more opportunities to play with all of my characters that I have ended up rolling for, and I think an additional Grailfront would be a very easy way to accomplish that. Let's also talk about some things that I think are really great from other events. Whenever there is a building event or anything like that, you can think of past summer events, you can think of things like the recent event featuring Haibashu. Those things are also great. I love hopping into those events. I love being able to, build up my base, see the map go ahead and grow a little bit. It may seem a little bit simplistic compared to what other games are going to offer in base building, but my several hundred hours in Crusader Kings as well as Civ should show that I really, really love base building. We've already got a framework there for a solid sort of base building offering FGO could offer. I really think it would have been a super neat thing to do when they ended up initially introducing the Lost Belts and gave us an actual base in the Wandering Sea. Why didn't I have an opportunity like build up my base in the Wandering Sea? Why didn't I have a chance to, oh no, you're getting attacked in the Wandering Sea, maybe you might want to go ahead and do something about that, the foreign god's disciples are attacking you, just give me a chance to build up my base, hold off the disciples of the foreign god, and another opportunity to just use my servants more often. I guess that's kind of the crux that I'm getting at with all this, is I just want more opportunities to field my team beyond farming for materials. I just want more chances to use all of my characters. My characters are shiny, my characters are neat. I want to try different combos of my characters and throw them all on the field and, use them. I want a chance to throw my over level 100 Barghest at things. Give me more chances to throw my over level 100 Barghest at things. I guess really the last thing I could say I would like to see from FGO, and this might make some people, be like, wait, no, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't worry about doing that. Don't do it. Is I would just like to see NA synchronize with JP. Dokkan Battle has already done it on NA. They are completely synchronized with their JP schedule. I feel like that is the absolute best way to see that. Yes, we will lose our Clairvoyance EX. We will not necessarily know what banners we need to roll for. We will not necessarily know which characters are going to be good. But venturing into the unknown is part of the fun, I feel. I would just really, really love, even if it's going to be painful, even if it's going to be a big old batch dump of things that are going to happen, even if it's going to seem like a lot of content thrust at us at once, maybe they have to meld some things together. I would just like to also, as a NA player, feel like I am, getting the same level of excitement of venturing into the unknown that JP overall sees. No, I'm not going to accept anything like, hey, just play JP instead. I have a native FGO English client. I have an FGO English that is here and exists that I can, easily read and easily use without having to, do any finagling. I can install the game and I can play it. And a lot of people just want to be able to install the game and be able to play it. So I really feel like, as much as it may initially, feel like it might have been the wrong move for the longevity of the game, for going into Chapter 3, which, yes, like, things beyond the Lost Belts and beyond Ordeal Call are definitely happening. That's already been confirmed. It's going to be a thing. I just would like to also have us experiencing that in tandem with the FGO JP player base. And I don't care if some people are like, JP should be prioritized. Cool, whatever, that's your opinion. But I feel like the entire community as a whole should just be prioritized. And, NA and all of the other servers just being able to experience the game in the exact same fashion at the exact same time, I feel like could only overall be healthy. Us being able to speculate, being able to enjoy, being able to hype over things in our version at the exact same time as other versions, I think that is nothing but healthy when it comes to a game. And as we continue to enter into this era of live service games, which FGO is a live service game at the end of the day, even if that term didn't exist back in the end of the day, it has surely, retroactively pulled itself into that in the forefront. This applies to the game names you're going to hate me to say. This applies to Genshin. This applies to WoWa. This applies to Honkai Star Rail. But even at a bigger sticking point, this applies to things like Destiny. This applies to things like Fortnite. The live service game model is basically here to stay. Companies are going to double down on it, regardless of how many live service games are failed in the past. And part of the reason a lot of those games continue to continue to attract a player base is because everyone is experiencing the whole thing together and just having a general good time. So go ahead, synchronize. Take the 2 halves, the 3 halves, the 4 halves, and make them whole. Give me a truly unified FGO experience, and my hype is going to go through the roof if I realized, wow, I don't have 2 years of prior knowledge. I don't know what the heck is going to happen. That is just a level of excitement that I feel like can't be unmatched. Can't be matched? It's early. Let me drink my coffee, okay? But let me know things you want to see. Keep it simple, keep it civil. I've seen some nasty comments floating around here or there, but it's whatever, honestly. As if you yourself are potentially even thinking about, doing the whole YouTube thing, making stuff to put on the internet, even if you're being an artist, even if you're whatever, there's gonna be, people out there that will say nasty things to you. It is going to happen. The best I can recommend is just like ignoring it, or just turning your computer off and going to do something else. I found that has always worked for me in the past. Again, just a final reiterate, None of the content creators are fighting. We are all cool with each other. We are just throwing all of our opinions into the ring on a topic that seems to have gotten a lot of traction and seems to be essentially making a lot of people very, very passionate, be it positively or be it negatively. So try to err on the positive side, even if you disagree with what somebody is saying. I think that's going to be the best way to, keep all parties involved happy. Let me know things down in the comments. Like I said, this probably wasn't like super duper edited. This is probably just more me talking to a face cam for 18 minutes. But my thoughts are on the table. It is what it is. I'm just going to go ahead and end it there. Kawaii 5-0, still hoping you have a phenomenal day, even if you disagree with me. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. I almost forgot. Give me a PC client. That's all I'm going to say. Give me a PC client. I broke my chair doing that bit. I'm going to fix it now. Goodbye.